Hello? Welcome.
This is the two cities.
Oh, I'm so excited.
We have always found an uneasiness with roads. The idea of walking down that dark path surrounded by the overgrown trees and saplings bring an uncomfortable feeling of reluctance. There is an uncertainty of what could be at the end of your journey, or a dread of what may truly follow you there. Walking down those roads create a tense feeling of maybe walking towards our own demise. The uneasiness of roads is an uneasiness of fate. My name is Ellie, and welcome to another Tales of Two Cities mini-episode. There's a rumor that in the small belt of Columbus, Mississippi stood a church on Nash Road. Instead of experiencing the religious devotions of what a church offers, individuals would come, turn off their headlights, honk their horn 3 times and wait. Then they would hear a knock on the roof of their car. After the knock, they would race to the end of the road. If they survived, they would never see the 3-legged lady again. One of the stories of the 3-legged lady begins with a girl and her mother. One day, the girl was out and about and was unfortunately run over by a car, losing her leg. The mother, just like any mother would, sewed her daughter's leg back on. Another story describes that the child was kidnapped and killed, and that her body parts were strewn across the woods near the end of the road. That mother's ghost could be seen holding the daughter's leg, the only thing she could find. Another story talks about a farmer and his wife who lived on Nash Road. The wife had an affair, and the farmer found out and killed the man, throwing his body over the bridge. During that process, the leg of the adulterer was torn off and survived lying on the edge of the bridge. The wife, heartbroken to lose the love of her life, decided to sew the leg to herself, and this became the 3-legged woman. Another telling of the story states that the man was the cheater, so the wife killed him and sewed his leg to her, an attempt to keep her love closer to her. The church found out about her unique decision and threatened to turn her in. So one day, during Sunday Mass, she locked everyone in the church and set it on fire, leaving behind a smoldering mass of decay and death. It is believed that she will kill anyone who walks to the church ground and threatens to tell her secret. People have noted to experience handprints on the back of their car driving through the area of where the church once stood. Some have claimed to actually have seen the woman with 3 legs or hear a whimpering woman. Others have heard fists slamming and ramming into the side of their car, only to find mysterious dents later on. There is no true explanation of what happens in Mississippi. The only thing that can be answered is that something isn't right. The city of St. Louis in Missouri is interlaced with the fluctuating degree of suburbs and towns. Once leaving the western suburbs, you are met with a wild, rugged region of rivers, woodlands, and hollows. Out of the many strange things faced along the area, Zombie Road can be seen as the eeriest. Zombie Road was once known as Lawler Ford Road and was constructed in the 1860s. It was built to provide access to the Merrimack and the railroad tracks along the river. The first white settler was Ninian Hamilton from Kentucky, and he was one of the wealthiest and most influential men during the 1800s. Being someone that created a trading post in the area isolated for miles, trappers and traders frequented the area, making it quite prosperous. Hamilton later built some grist mills, which were desperately needed by the people in that town. One of which was later replaced by a water mill for tanning by Henry McCullough, a tanner and a successful shoemaker. McCullough was also another Kentuckian who had bought land from Hamilton and served as Justice of the Peace for about 30 years. His wife, Della Hamilton McCullough, sister of Ninian Hamilton, was killed in 1876 after being struck by a railroad car on a spur line. Despite being killed, it hasn't stopped her spirit. The area was also a station for a unionized army, despite the fact that there were many that were loyal to the Confederate Army. A number of men died in the area due to battles conflicting with the Home Guard. This could explain why many people could see hordes of men wandering the abandoned train tracks. But as years went by, the Lawler Ford Road went into despair and became a hangout spot for teens in the 1950s. From then until now, haunted stories developed. Several tales of murdered boyfriends from a serial killer who is dubbed Zombie is where the nickname comes from. It is said that he lived in one of the dilapidated shacks along the river and attacked young lovers looking for someplace quiet. It is also said that an old woman haunts another shack along the river and chases young people away as well. There are also other reported hauntings in the area, like a boy who walks along the river, Native Americans, and modern-day devil worshippers. Many people speak of unsettling feelings and the sensation of being watched. Some have heard eerie noises and disembodied footsteps. It is not uncommon for people to experience seeing shapes and shadow peoples in the woods. Why do the unknown roads scare us so? It might be that despite being civilized creatures, our hesitation of what paths present bring us back to that animal instinct to defend ourselves against the unknown, but also to defend ourselves of things we create ourselves. These stories made me think about our recent episode on monsters and how the Charman became so famous in Ojai, California. For those that don't know, the Charman was a charred man or a charred monster haunting a road in the Ventura County. Like Mississippi and Missouri, the Charman became a symbol of danger for those that wanted to explore the unknown. He became the image of stranger danger. Like I said before, the issues of roads might actually also be an issue of defending ourselves against things we created ourselves. Like the Charman, who we later find out was an image created from a supposed cancer victim. Despite being the ones that fashioned those roads, we might have also been the ones that created the dark matter in which we fear. The song is This House by Kevin Macleod. He's licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. You can find his work on creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0. You can find out more about us and other episodes on our Facebook page, website, Twitter, Instagram, and our email at talesofthe2citiespodcast@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. It really helps us a lot. And also, thanks.